Bianca Torres loved on-air quiet. She loved the second after the director's finger came off the red tally light and before she said her first word, that small hush in which she and the city inhaled together. In those 3 beats, she felt like she owned the sky itself. Tuesday's 6 o'clock forecast began just like hundreds before it. She pressed her palms against the cool glass of the green screen wall. While the anchor tossed to weather, the studio lights dimmed, leaving Bianca and the glowing map. "Good evening, Milwaukee," she began, cue-stick sweeping a front that curved across Lake Michigan. "A band of thunderstorms is pushing in from the southwest, but," she hesitated, something was wrong with the new Titan 9 Doppler display Channel 8's engineers had installed that afternoon. Instead of the usual patchwork splotches, dense red cores, yellow halos, green mist, Bianca saw a series of shapes much too precise for radar randomness. The storm cells formed letters, P-A-Y. Her brain tried to convert that into precipitation gradients, but the words stared back, bright, impossible. Director Clary's voice crackled through Bianca's IFB. "Everything okay, B? Just a little artifact," Bianca said, forcing a smile. "Let's zoom in for better resolution." She pinched the touchscreen on her remote. The map leapt closer, the letters scattered, becoming normal blotches again. Viewers wouldn't have noticed, but Bianca felt unsettled. Pay? Pay for what? She wrapped the forecast in 2 more minutes, delivered her "stay dry, stay safe," and walked off set, heart thumping louder than the floor director's applause. In the weather office, the techs crowded around the new radar console, still congratulating themselves. "Look at that detail," Tyler the intern said. "You can see individual hail cores." Bianca kept quiet. She told herself the word had been coincidence, a brief pareidolia. Still, she opened the system logs and scrolled. No anomalies, no hidden Easter egg, no prank font overlay. She went home, drenched in unease instead of rain. That night, lightning spidered above Lake Drive. Bianca stood at her apartment window interrogating the clouds. Maybe the brain saw patterns because it wanted narrative. She turned in after midnight. Wednesday's noon show should have been easy. Quick sunshine update, weekend tease, then back to coffee. She stepped on set. Microphone clipped, clicker ready. "Bianca, you're hot," Clarice said. "Let's talk about that cold front," Bianca told the cameras, zooming to a county view. Kenosha's southern quadrant displayed a cluster of red returns shaped unmistakably like a gun. The barrel pointed toward a pair of initials, LR. Bianca froze. The clicker slipped in her palm. She recovered, stumbling through generic commentary until a commercial mercifully cut her off. She knew one LR, Lisa Rawls, bookkeeper at Channel 8. Mild, forever eating yogurt at her desk, gun imagery beside her initials. Message? Another coincidence? Bianca marched to the accounting corner after broadcast. "Lisa, wild question," she whispered. "Everything okay at home?" Lisa startled. "My mother fell this morning," she said. "I'm heading to Chicago after work. Not guilt, just worry." Bianca felt silly. She muttered comfort, retreated, assured herself she was inventing conspiracy. That changed Thursday evening. Channel 8 hosted their weekly Ask the Expert Facebook Live. Viewers posted questions Bianca answered while senior anchor Marty Cantor moderated. The Titan 9 radar map floated behind them in real time. Viewer at Bayviewer83 typed, "Can we expect flooding on the 3rd Ward Riverwalk?" Bianca toggled the flood layer. The radar's blue overlay pooled around the Milwaukee River. In its center, clearer than any word cloud, formed the silhouette of a woman kneeling, wrists bound. The water pulsed crimson within that outline like blood under a microscope. Comments poured in. "What is that? Creepy? Someone messing with graphics?" Bianca's skin iced. Marty jumped in, booming, "Just a technical glitch, folks. Bianca?" "I need engineering," she whispered, forgetting her mic was live. They cut the feed. Bianca hurried to master control where Calvin, the lead engineer, replayed the stream. The silhouette was burned into the radar archive too, not an overlay. "Impossible," Calvin muttered. "Algorithms clean." Clarice demanded explanations. Bianca offered none she believed. That night she researched historical radar anomalies, migrating birds, dust, bug blooms, artillery chaff, flocks of bats. None rendered bondage imagery. Sleep eluded her, so she binge-read local crime forums. Paid back from 4 months back. Missing Damaris Escalera, last seen near the Riverwalk, presumed runaway. No leads. The grainy photo showed Damaris at a party, a red scarf around her tattooed wrist. The silhouette's bound arms had the same scarf. Friday morning, Bianca called in sick. She drove to the Riverwalk, parked, listened to gulls argue over dumpsters. She scanned palings and eddies, half expecting the water to spell her name. Nothing did. She sat in the car until drizzle pattered the windshield like Morse code. At 3 p.m., Clarice called. "We need you tonight. Storm cells intensifying. Please." Bianca relented, arriving before 6. She prepped her forecasts but dreaded going on air. While powdering her forehead in the makeup room, she heard Lisa Rawls quarreling on the lobby phone. Lisa's words slid under the door. "How could you? Our secret. If anyone finds out." Bianca's pulse quickened. Gun. Initials. LR. She remembered the pattern. She walked to the set feeling like she no longer had solid ground beneath her heels. The first 30 seconds progressed routinely. She discussed lightning potential. Then a fresh sweep updated on the green screen. Storm cells south of Racine warped into a perfect human skull. Across its forehead, block letters scrolled as if written by cloud. 13. For a moment no one spoke. The production booth fell silent. The skull flickered but held shape. Bianca swallowed air. "Bianca?" Clarice finally asked. Bianca made a decision. "Everyone, we're experiencing something." She turned to camera 3. "I don't know how to explain what you're seeing, but I believe the radar is showing us more than weather. If anyone watching recognizes the number 13 connected to a recent crime, please contact authorities." Marty and Clarice screamed in her ear to stop. She continued. "I can't ignore this. Last night the map displayed what looked like a woman bound at the Riverwalk. Her name is Damaris Escalera, missing 4 months. If you know anything about Damaris, call Milwaukee PD." The director cut to commercial, but half the city had already heard. Within 20 minutes, the station's switchboard clogged. Some crank calls, some frightened, one detective lieutenant named Soria requesting Bianca remain on site. Police arrived. Bianca repeated everything. Soria stared at her as if evaluating a fever chart. "You realize how insane this sounds, Ms. Torres?" "I do," Bianca inhaled, "but you asked me to remain. Why?" Soria rubbed his eyes. "Because 10 minutes ago our office got an anonymous tip pointing to a boat slip on the Riverwalk. Caller claimed a body with red cloth around the wrists. They mentioned your broadcast." Bianca's throat closed. "You found her?" "Divers are en route." Friday dusk slipped into stormy night. Officers kept Bianca in a conference room until 1 a.m. Then Soria returned, rain dripping off his cap. He didn't need to speak. His face confirmed it. Damaris Escalera had been found. "Was there a 13?" Bianca asked. "13 carved into her knuckles," he said. Bianca crumpled. Eventually Soria asked, "Can you explain how you knew?" "No," she said. He left with her statement, unsatisfied. By Monday morning, Bianca was national news. Psychic weatherwoman, Doppler oracle, radar medium. Management forbade her to mention crimes on air again, but they wouldn't take her off set. Ratings had doubled. Viewers tuned in to glimpse messages, screenshot them, speculate. Storm secrets trended. Conspiracy podcasts demanded interviews. Some hailed Bianca as prophet. Others claimed hoax for ratings. The patterns continued, escalating. Tuesday. Over Wauwatosa, cells drew a broken wedding ring and spelled June 4. Hours later, a florist called police, reporting a man attempting to buy funeral lilies with blood on his cuff. The man, married 3 days earlier on June 4, soon confessed to killing his wife. Thursday. Over Sheboygan, swirling snow bands mapped out longitude-latitude coordinates. Deputies followed them to a farmhouse crawlspace containing stolen tribal artifacts missing since 1998. Each revelation grew faster, bloodier. Bianca kept silent on air but jotted details, emailing anonymous tips to police from burner accounts. She stopped sleeping, convinced the storms would show her own sins if she ever let guilt settle. On the second Sunday of May, the radar painted the clearest picture yet. A man's face overlaid on cumulonimbus high above Lake Michigan. The visage was familiar, square jaw, dimpled chin, salt-pepper hair. It took Bianca 10 seconds to match him. Marty Cantor, Channel 8's beloved primetime anchor. Across the cheeks blinked 2 words. Hit run. Bianca's stomach collapsed. Marty had once confided the guilt he still carried over a deer he'd struck one winter. Was it more than a deer? That night, Marty opened the 10 p.m. broadcast with a solemn expression. "We begin with breaking weather," he tossed to Bianca. She stood, map behind her, Marty's face still there, filling 5 counties. She glanced at him. He paled. The control room grew frantic, feeds flickering. Bianca clutched her clicker. Her contract, management's gag order, basic survival screamed, "Say nothing." But the radar had become her conscience, crushing, relentless. Bianca faced the camera. "Milwaukee," she said softly. "Our city speaks through storms. I can't stop it. I won't hide it. If you recognize the man behind me, and if you know of any unsolved hit and run, please come forward." Marty choked. He tried to speak, failed, then broke for commercial himself. In the scrimmage, he bumped his coffee, scalding his wrist. Bianca saw tears in his eyes, a respected journalist unraveling. He didn't return for the next segment, nor the next newscast. On Monday, police arrested him. Surveillance footage from 2 years prior placed his car near an accident that killed cyclist Aiden Raleigh. Fresh forensic tests found matching paint flecks in the victim's clothing. The station suspended Marty, hired lawyers, and summoned Bianca to HR. "Are you some kind of witch?" the general manager asked, half joking, half terrified. Bianca had no answer. She expected termination. Instead, they offered her a primetime special, When the Sky Speaks. Advertisers were drooling. Bianca sat in her car afterward, trembling. She had never wanted fame like this. She'd wanted to explain clouds, reassure kids thunder couldn't hurt them, warn fishermen about gust fronts. Now she was a lightning rod for confessions. She drove to Lake Park, walked slippery steps to the lighthouse, and screamed into 40th wind, "What do you want from me?" Thunder replied. The following week, no sinister shapes appeared, just humdrum Isabars and polite showers. Bianca dared to believe the curse lifted. She finally slept through a night. Then came Memorial Day. Severe storms were predicted over the entire Midwest. Bianca arrived early, caffeinated, anxious, but determined to focus on public safety. She rehearsed tornado safety tips, requested the crawl graphic with shelter instructions. 5 minutes before air, Tyler burst into the weather office, white as his intern badge. "Look," he gasped, pointing at the radar. The squall line racing across Wisconsin had organized into letters taller than mountain ranges. Release. "Could be a software integration message," Calvin mumbled desperately. No one believed that. Bianca walked a set feeling preordained. She faced 3 million viewers. The map behind her pulsed. Release. Then letters dissolved and reformed into him. Bianca's chest constricted. Him? Who? The map dissolved again, into a single location tag, blinking west of downtown. Producer messages filled her IFB. "Don't you stay on script. Focus on tornado warnings." She ignored them. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, "if you see this, evacuate inner city grid 22 immediately. Something terrible is there." Camera operators looked around, confused. Bianca dropped her clicker and sprinted off set. She drove, ignoring red lights, following the radar on her phone as it zoomed to one street, Humboldt and Keefe, the intersection by an abandoned brewery. Sirens screamed behind. Cruisers dispatched by nervous management pursued her. Bianca arrived first. Rain hammered the cracked pavement. The brewery loomed, a mausoleum of bricks. A single car was parked by the loading dock, Lisa Rawls' silver sedan. Gun, initials, LR. Bianca crept forward. Through a shattered window, she saw a figure tied to a chair, head sagging, a man, gagged. Another figure paced behind him, Lisa, holding a pistol. weeping. Bianca's shout startled Lisa. The gun swung her way. Bianca raised her hands. Lisa, it's Bianca. I'm unarmed. He deserves to die, Lisa hissed. He killed my sister 13 years ago. She jabbed the gagged man's temple with the muzzle. Carjacking gone bad, they said. He got cut loose on a tech error. 13. No one cared. The storm rumbled above, lightning strobing through roof holes like a cosmic interrogation light. Bianca's mind raced. The radar had shown pay, then the gun with LR, then 13. It had been telling her Lisa's story in fragments. Lisa, Bianca said gently, the sky told me. That's why I'm here. To stop this before you do something that robs you of your life, too. Lisa sobbed. The sky? Then it knows my pain? It also knows release, Bianca said, glancing outside. Police sirens neared. Let him face justice. Not this. Lisa's arms trembled. The gun clattered to concrete. She collapsed. Bianca rushed, kicked the weapon aside, untied the man, one Raymond Tiller, convicted car thief whose case had indeed been thrown out on a technicality. Officers burst in, weapons drawn. They cuffed Lisa, secured Tiller, ushered Bianca out. Outside, rain eased. The radar on Bianca's phone now displayed a simple clearing. The storm line had evaporated as if someone hit a cosmic switch. Detective Soria arrived, hugging a thermos. This you again? Yes, she whispered. Soria studied her, rain dripping from his brim. Whatever's happening, keep cooperating. You probably saved 2 lives tonight. 3, Bianca thought, hers included. That night, management begged Bianca to appear live for a midnight special. She refused. She went home, showered, curled on the couch, and waited for sunrise. The following afternoon, she returned to the station to clean out her desk. Clarice found her. Quitting? I was hired to predict weather, not destiny, Bianca said. Clarice nodded, tearful. You're bigger than this place anyway. Bianca handed over her badge, stepped outside. A June breeze tousled her hair. She looked up. Cumulus towers marched inland, ordinary and oblivious. Her phone buzzed. Soria again. We interrogated Tiller, he said. He confessed to the carjacking murder and implicated a ring linked to 5 more cold cases. Thought you'd want to know. Bianca exhaled. The sky's ledger balanced slightly. Thank you, she said. Let me know if it shows you anything else, Soria half-joked. She hung up. Then far away, thunder cracked a soft punctuation. Bianca raised her face, waiting to see if clouds formed words. They didn't. They were just clouds. But she understood. If the sky spoke again, she would listen, title or no title, job or no job. Some forecasts had nothing to do with weather and everything to do with whether people chose to hear. She started walking, each footstep lighter than the one before, as if the whole atmosphere finally believed she belonged among its messages.